Today is a little bit cold, so I'm dressed up a little bit thick. And I'm also doing a 1-day fast for Ikadashi Day. Okay? So today I've got a very interesting question from Align with the Sun. So before I head into the question of the day, Namo Adesh. My name is Garret. My mission as a life coach and a law of attraction coach is to help people realize their infinite potential by tapping into spirituality, the law of attraction, and Fengshui. I'm very blessed to be trained under a Himalayan yogi who's taught me the ways of the yogic teachings as well as spirituality, which is the whole umbrella of life. So without further ado, let's head into the question. So hello Garret, thanks for your videos that you have been recording. It has really helped me with when I have doubts in certain questions. However, can I ask for your advice as I think it was not covered in your video so far? I'm always wondering if I have an unknown superpower, as when I hope for something or just a thought of it that strike through my mind, it does happen. I'm also afraid of it as sometimes my thoughts are not always positive and I do not want to cause any harm or bad things to happen. But I just don't know how to control it. What should I do? Thank you, Align with the Sun. So yeah, basically some people are given certain gifts, or I would say certain powers that they have, and pretty much everyone that comes to this planet, I would say, just like what I mentioned to my colleagues Hillary before, she's also gifted because she's able to go lucid dreaming. So every bit of gift that the universe has given to you is, we can call it superpowers. However, when you have superpowers, just like what Spider-Man said to us before, with great power comes great responsibility, right? So that's why you have this sort of powers. Actually, all of us have the same powers. This is the power of manifestations. Basically, everything stems from thought. So nonetheless, whatever thought that you came positive or negative is gonna manifest in some way or another in your life, you see. So law of attraction works basically for everyone at every single point. It is the law of attraction. That's why it's called the law. So it's gonna happen whether you think of it subconsciously or you think of it consciously, you see. So if you're thinking on the subconscious level, then you're not thinking on the conscious level, it would still manifest, you see. So that's the reason why a lot of us, when we are being programmed throughout our younger years, right, a certain set of habits that we are told not to do. Perhaps one of the urban legends that our family members always tell us not to do is, like, perhaps we don't cut our nails at night, because perhaps when we in Asian cultures, when you cut your nails at night, you tend to draw on some demonic entities, or you tend to forget your memories, you see. So all these urban legends are some kind of programmings that are being put into your mind. So the direct manifestation will lead you to, in the modern times, you can't cut your nails at night. What happens if you got some splint on your fingernails and you need to cut your nails? You see, so all these urban legends are some form of programming, and it sticks with you subconsciously, even though you're not thinking of it. And even if you do think of it, then it's even worse, because it's consciously and subconsciously you're also thinking in that manner. So when you have superpowers and whereby you have thoughts like that, it means that you are very good at putting emotions in when you are trying to manifest certain things in your life. So the most intelligent people, like Albert Einstein, they are able to sort of manifest, and they understand, because the most powerful thing is that they understand the theory of how the mind works. And the brain, if you were to know, the smartest people in the world, like Albert Einstein, he is able to only utilize like 10% of his brain. Whereas for most people don't even have such a high intellect that could actually manifest or could actually make use of their brains in up to more than 10%, you see. So in short, right, what I'm trying to say here is that when you're only able to use less than 10% to manifest things in your life, it's not as effective. You see, however, when the reason why you say that you have superpowers is because you're manifesting using subconscious and also through the understanding of emotions. You see, and you mentioned that I haven't covered this before because I've mentioned it most of the time in my law of attraction videos, like my mind body spirit alignment series, and some of my law of attraction videos that I've actually made. So everything stems from thought, you see. So what you think, you become. So this is one of the sayings from Buddha himself. So what you think, you become. So everything is a correlation to the action that you take. So superpowers, what you seem to manifest in your life, whether it's good or bad, know this: whatever thoughts that come into your mind, be very mindful of what thoughts actually surfaces. And when you think of a bad thought, you can actually counter it with a good thought, you see. And what makes it more powerful is when you imply emotions into it. So if you think of negative emotions, at that point where you're thinking of negative thoughts, right, it's best that you tune yourself out of negative emotions. Because if let's say you're thinking of say maybe you're worried of losing your job, at that point maybe you screw up something at your work. So when you think of something that you screw up at work, then you're worried, you're scared, you're frightened, you're in fear. So when you're in fear, you're in the lower spectrum of the vibrational frequencies. And when that happens, it's easy to manifest these sort of things because you are trying to tell the universe that you enjoy this state of vibrational frequencies. Hence, you attract all this into your frequency range, you see. So just know this: we are just like a radio frequency station. So it's just like we are just like a radio box. Just call yourself a radio box. You tune yourself into the dial that you want it to be. So if you're in a low frequency, you're at maybe 80.9. Then, and if you're trying to manifest things that you want in your life, you want to manifest really good things at high frequency. So maybe you need to tune it yourself up to 108.8. So from 88.8 or 88.9 to 108.8, there's some dialing up that needs to be done, you see. So you need to be very mindful of what kind of thoughts that you put in. So if you're trying to put in positive thoughts, good. So if you're trying to put in positive thoughts, then what's next? You need to first make sure that you put in emotions as well, and it's good emotions. So that's why I always say you elevate your vibrations up so much so that you could be in a place of love, then be in a place of joy, then peace. So there's these three high frequencies. Once you're up there, things manifest really quickly for you. Opportunities will come really quickly, and that's why you manifest all the good things faster. So always know, when you think of negative thoughts, think of the positive thoughts to weigh over it. So it's normal that the mind will slip into monkey brain whereby you think of all the negative things. And if you keep thinking on the negative and you keep focusing on the negative things, then you attract all the negativity into your life because you're in a state of fear and you're always in victim mindset. So know this: never always be thinking of all the negative things. Only focus on the positive. And it's normal for humans to always think that when we encounter emotional based situations in our life, then we'll get upset. And when we are upset and we are affected emotionally, right, it's easy for us to slip into negative thinking. Once we slip into negative thinking, hence we attract more of this negativity, then it goes into a bad cycle. So that's why you need to be very mindful of the thoughts whenever you know that. So there's a lot of practical ways to maintain your I would say the mind, you see, because the mind is a very dangerous tool. If you know that it's actually a very useful tool, but also a dangerous tool because most of the time we overthink. So when we overthink, then that's where we manifest all kinds of rubbish. Okay, and if this is what you're trying to tell me in terms of your so-called superpower, then basically I would say this is just basically law of attraction working on its own. And however, if let's say your superpowers basically don't is nothing to do with thinking, nothing to do with it doesn't stem from thought, and it doesn't stem from say producing from innate source. Then perhaps that's some superpower that I really need to know of. But when you're saying that it's more mind driven and it's more thought driven, then it's something to do with law of attraction, because law of attraction pretty much works that way. Because when you set an intent and you work towards that thing, things will happen. If not, most people like psychic abilities, I would say psychic abilities, they are also superpowers that every one of us have. It's just a matter of whether how in tune you are with mind, body, spirit alignment. And when you're in high vibrational frequencies, that's where you're able to connect to source, or when you're able to connect yourself to high energy beings. And that's where you gain all your abilities from all these high intellectual beings. Then sometimes you're able to hear sound. Sometimes when you're able to hear sounds, it's clairaudience. You're able to, all the clairs basically working for you. You see, there's clairsentience, there's claircognizance. There's so many ways you could actually utilize all these clairs to help you. But this comes when you are when all these clairs come into your life, right? Is where you most likely is spiritually awakened, and you do a lot of meditations, and you basically do all your spiritual practices like yoga and so on and so forth to actually tap into this spiritual pool. Yeah, so I hope I answered all your questions. Yeah, and yeah, focus on the positive. Don't think of the bad things. Always come in the place of love and peace and compassion. That's where you will never be wrong, because being in a place of always know this, when always remember, quote from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. So know this, when you have such power, and you think every one of us has such power, but if you think that you're such a manifesting beast, then make use of all these powers for good. Okay, when you say you manifest for positivity, manifest not only for yourself, manifest for the world, because when you do that, that's where manifestation come even quicker, and only the best will come for you. Okay, with that, I end off my video for today. So if you guys have learned anything from this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and make sure comment your learning in the comment section below. And it's always nice to know where you're tuning in from. Okay, so with that, I end my video off. Namo Ade.